Hey, what's up guys? Hardleg Joe here with what a deck profile for the Skull Servant Beatdown deck 2017 edition. I'm just going to go through everything in here, and then I'll explain how it works. For monsters, we're playing 3 Skull Servant, 3 Gozuki, 3 Mezuki, 3 Shiranui Solitaire, 3 Wightprincess, 3 Unizombie, 3 the Lady in White, 3 Wightmare, 3 Wightprince, and 3 King of the Skull Servants. For our spells, we're playing 1 Raigeki, 2 Dark Hole, 1 Foolish Burial, 3 Forbidden Chalice, and 3 Twin Twisters. We've got no traps. The extra deck is 1 Beals, the Diabolic Dragons, Void Ogre Dragon, Shiranui Shogun Saga, Shiranui Samurai Saga, Red Wyvern, Coral Dragon, Bryonic Dragon of the Ice Barrier, Ally of Justice Cataster, Samsara Dragon, Dark Rebellion Ixie Dragon, Tornado Dragon, Castell, Ghost Trick Alucard, Ghost Trick Doulahan, and Lyrilusk Assembled Nightingale. The side deck I'll go over in a bit. So as the name says, this is a beatdown deck, and the card you're going to be using to beat down is King of the Skull Servants. The original attack of this card is the combined number of King of the Skull Servants and Skull Servants in your graveyard times 1,000. And when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can banish a King of the Skull Servants or Skull Servants from your graveyard to special summon this card. In combination with that attack boost, we have Wightprince, Wightmare, Lady in White, and Wightprincess, all of whom's name become Skull Servant when they're in the graveyard. Which means if you have one of these on the field and every other card in your deck happens to be in the graveyard, this can get up to 17,000 attack. So it's a real one-punch man kind of deck. You're getting all these things into the graveyard, boosting this attack, and then attacking for a lot. Now, in addition to having the name Skull Servant in the graveyard, all of these cards also have neat effects that help you get more Skull Servants in the graveyard. Wightprince is probably the most useful. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can send 1 Skull Servant and 1 Lady in White from your hand or deck to the graveyard. You can also banish 2 Skull Servants and this card from your graveyard to summon King of the Skull Servants from your deck. So a lot of the deck revolves around dumping this into the graveyard, because if you've already got King of the Skull Servants, dumping this will get you 2 other Skull Servants, boosting his attack by 3,000, and if you don't, then getting all 3 in the graveyard will allow you to get one directly from your deck. Of course, if you banish all 3 cards, you'll have nothing in the graveyard, so this will be 0 attack, and that's when Wightmare comes into here. Wightmare, in addition to being treated as Skull Servant, you can discard this from your hand to activate one of the following effects. Either select a remove from play Skull Servant or Wightmare and return it to the graveyard, or select one of your banished Lady in White or King of the Skull Servants and special summon it. So if you banish 3 with your Wightprince, you can discard this, put one of the banished Skull Servants back into your graveyard, which along with this will give your king at least 2,000 attack. His other effect's not that bad either. Special summoning Lady in the White can be pretty useful. This is a level 3 monster with 2200 defense, 0 attack. More importantly, face-up level 3 or lower zombie monsters on the field, except herself, cannot be destroyed by battle and are unaffected by spell trap effects. So if your opponent has a bunch of back row that you're worried about and you don't have any of your Twin Twisters, you can discard Wightmare, special summon this from the graveyard, and then you can attack without worrying because your King of the Skull Servants is unaffected by all the mirror forces and whatever else spell traps they have that are going to try to stop you. Finally, we have the newest addition to this, Wightprincess. When this card is normal or special summoned, you can send 1 Wightprince from your deck to the graveyard. Already just great because it's getting you another 3 in the graveyard. In addition, during either player's turn, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard. All monsters on the field lose attack and defense equal to their level and rank times 300 until the end of the turn. This can be particularly devastating against high-level things like Blue Eyes and Synchros, but it's pretty good against even Ixies and stuff like that because it counts their rank. And of course, while it does affect your monsters, your King of the Skull Servants is level 1, so it's only going to lose 300 attack, which is not much in the grand scheme of things. Now as for the non-Skull Servant monsters, we're playing Mezuki. You can banish this card from the graveyard to target 1 zombie in your graveyard and special summon it. Great because all of the Skull Servants and all the little ones are zombies, which can help you not only get your king back out, but help you with some of your extra deck plays. With him, we're also playing Gozuki. This is during your main phase, you could send 1 zombie monster from your deck to the graveyard, which you can use to either send your Wightprince or your Mezuki, whichever is more useful at the time. Also, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish a zombie from your graveyard to special summon a zombie monster from your hand. This effect is not as important, but if you have one of your cards in the graveyard that's not a Skull Servant, and you have something like King or Lady in White in your hand that you want to get out, this can be a pretty good way to do it. You can, of course, discard this with Twin Twisters, or with possibly the most important card in the deck, Unizombie. Unizombie has 2 effects. You can use each of them once per turn. You can either target a face-up monster on the field, discard a card, and increase that target's level by 1, Or you could target one face-up monster on the field. Monsters you control cannot attack for the rest of the turn except zombie monsters. Also send one zombie from your deck to the graveyard, and increase that target's level by 1. So basically once per turn you're going to be able to send one card from your hand and one card from your deck to the graveyard, which considering how many things want to be in the graveyard or want to be sent to the graveyard to activate their effects, this is just pretty awesome. In addition, the level altering effect is pretty nice because you can use it on himself to increase his levels. This lets you make some of your higher level Ixie plays. You can also use it on your opponent's monsters if you're not going to be able to destroy them that turn. You can change their level 4 monsters to level 5 and prevent them from making easy Ixie or Synchro plays of their own. Of course, this is a tuner, I'm not sure if I mentioned that, which is also how you're going to be able to do your Synchro plays in general with the level modulation. It's just important to remember that if you use that second effect, you can't attack with anything but zombies. So if you make something big like Beals or Coral Dragon, you're not going to be able to attack with them, you'll just be able to use their effects. Usually it's better to attack first and then Synchro in main phase 2. The only other card in here is Shiranui's Solitaire. You can tribute one zombie monster, including itself, to special summon a zombie tuner with 0 defense from your deck. It also has another effect that doesn't come into play because we're not playing the rest of the Shiranuis. Really, this is just here because you can normal summon it, tribute it, and get out your Unizombie. So overall, between the Unizombie itself, the Shiranui being able to go into it, the Gozuki, and the Wightprincess, you have 12 cards that are able to send Wightprince from the deck to the graveyard. So getting your plays started are really not all that difficult at all. And also, while it may seem a little bit bricky to be playing the 3 Skull Servants, you really need them to help. You can only send it with Wightprince. If you don't have a Skull Servant in the deck, then you can't activate his effect. And while it does occasionally brick if you get like all 3 of them in your hand, you can usually discard them with Unizombie or Twin Twister. You can use them for rank 1 plays. And most of the time you can get 3 Wightprince in the graveyard so quickly that you'll just get these out of your deck before you even have a chance to draw them. As for our Spell Trap, it's mostly just a bunch of staples. We've got Twin Twisters to take care of the back row and also get cards into the graveyard. Forbidden Chalice is pretty good because this is kind of like an OTK beatdown deck, so it's nice to be able to negate effects and just on your turn without having to set things first. Foolish Burial should be obvious, it's just another way to get Wightprince or Mizuki into the graveyard. And then of course the Triumvirate of the Destruction. There's nothing better than Dark Holing and then normal summoning King of the Skull Servants to attack for 6,000 to 9,000. And of course there's a cool combo. If you can get out the Lady in White with the Skull Servants, you can Dark Hole, and Lady in White will be destroyed, but King will not, because Lady is making him unaffected by all spell traps. So Dark Hole's even less of a detriment in this deck than normal. Of course, I should mention you always want to go second in this deck as well, which makes Dark Hole just about as good as Raigeki. If you're going second, just start out, play it, and then do all your plays once their field is cleared. This deck doesn't really have a lot of defensive plays. The few it does are in the extra deck. By using different levels with Unizombie, you can make things like Beals, Void Ogre Dragon for negating spell traps. Shogun Saga is just basically a 3,000 attack point beat stick. Same thing with Samurai Saga, it's just a 25 attack point beat stick. The only reason you play these is because there's zombies. Sometimes you can clear the field, get out a king, and then still make a synchro play with Unizombie, in which case you probably want to go into one of these two so you can attack for massive damage. Possibly the easiest level to make in this is 6, because if you use Unizombie's effect on itself twice, it'll be level 5, and then if you can get either your Wightprince or something else out of the graveyard, then you can make one of these level 6 monsters. The level 6s are also possibly the most powerful. Coral Dragon and Brionac are both really good because they allow you to discard cards to either destroy a card on the field or send cards back to the hand. And of course, if you're going second, if you have a lot of cards in your hand that you need to get rid of, Skull Servants or Mizukis you want to dump into the graveyard, these can be excellent ways to do so while also getting advantage on your opponent. Level 5s are less useful. I play the one Samsara Dragon because it's kind of a good defensive card. If it's destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can target one monster in either player's graveyard and special summon it. So a decent defensive play if you're worried about your opponent like Raigekiing you. As for the Ixies, we're mostly just playing sort of a toolbox. We have some level 3s and some level 4s, so I put some stuff in there. Level 1s in particular are kind of important, and probably the two best for this are Ghost Trick Doulahan. You can have a monster's attack so you can attack directly for a crap ton. Or, as defensive, you can make Assembled Nightingale. You can detach during either player's turn to make it so you don't take damage that turn. As for the side deck, it's mostly just other options. Psyframe Lord Omega you can put in here. The only reason I didn't is because I think with the Link format coming out with the advantages that this has, it has a chance to be limited, maybe even banned. And I'm trying to make decks that work for Link format, even though it's not out on YGOPro yet. By keeping this in the side deck, it's more likely that this deck will stand the test of time. Nothing in it will be banned that I'll have to replace later. As for the rest of the cards, some of them are actually an alternate version of this deck. If you wanted to play something more fun, a little bit more trolly, I have a Magical Merchant version of this deck. This card is flip effect, excavate cards from the top of your deck until you reach a spell trap card, add that card to your hand and send the rest to the graveyard. It's less competitive, but it's kind of neat. If you play a deck that has this in it, and then you get rid of all the rest of the spell traps, except for keep one Raigeki and maybe one monster reincarnation, then when this is flipped, you'll mill your entire deck into the graveyard. You can summon things out with Mizuki, and then you'll just be able to attack for like a 10,000 to 17,000 attack points, King of the Skull Servants. If you are trying to do that, though, a couple cards I recommend. Battle Fader's pretty good, because if you're playing almost exclusively monsters, you have more chance to brick or more chance to not be able to do anything. And level 1s let you go into your level 1 Ixies a little bit easier, plus with the synchro plays I mentioned before. AD Changer, you can banish this card from the graveyard to target one monster on the field and change its battle position. This is good for OTKs. If your opponent has a set card on the field, you mill everything into the graveyard, you get your Skull Servant out. You can then banish this to change their defense position monster to attack, and attack into that for all the damage. Finally, just outstanding Dog Marin. If this card's sent to the graveyard, add it to your deck and shuffle it. This can be good if you've got both of your spell traps in your hand. It'll prevent you from decking out because it'll go back into the deck and give you another turn. As long as you can get rid of each turn, then you'll be able to stop from decking out. The other cards in here are just extra options. 1-for-1 works great in this deck because level 1s. I just couldn't really find room for it. Necroface is good if you're going against banished decks. This would probably be good for the actual side deck. Or if you're just going into grindier games where you're going to end up banishing a whole lot of stuff because it can reset everything and get a lot of attack in the process. And if you want to make this deck a lot faster, Into the Void actually works pretty good. It'll let you draw into your cards, so you're most likely to get your plays started. And then at the end of the turn, you just discard everything. And because everything going into the graveyard is actually kind of good in this deck, it works out pretty fine. Anyway, there's your deck for this week. I hope you enjoyed. It's a nice blast from the past. Good to see that Skull Servants can still do things in 2017. Next week, I'll be playing a mystery deck, but I'm sure many of you will be glad to see it. Until then, good luck, and have fun.